What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Pistons Daily, where you can find daily content covering all things Detroit Pistons every single day. I'm your host. My name is Kyle Garrison. I'm over on Twitter at Kyle Garrison2, where I talk all things Detroit sports. So head over there, give me comments, questions, concerns, episode ideas. I'd love to hear from all you guys. Also, shout out to everyone who tunes in every single day. The channel is growing at an unbelievable rate, and it's all thanks to you guys. So once again, I really appreciate it. I also would appreciate it if you could head over to Spotify, leave a review, leave a follow. We're trying to grow across multiple platforms, so if you can head over to Spotify, I also would appreciate that. But with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. So obviously, the Pistons just took down the Rockets in Game 2 of Summer League, 98-83. The Pistons now sit at 2-0 in Summer League, and the collection of young guys has looked really impressive. Right away, I wanted to touch on just kind of the overall collective effort that this team put forward in today's game. You're seeing Ron Holland and Chaz Lanier and Dannis Jenkins and Tolu Smith and Bobby Klintman at times really lead this team. And then even the bench depth came in and gave great minutes. Bryce Williams didn't play in the first game. Played today, had 10 points, 2 of 6 from 3, only in 13 minutes. I talked about how he's going to come in and he's going to shoot the ball. He's going to get up shots. He did that. He shot efficiently, shot well. So we like to see that. And then Trevor Keels with 7 points. Zakai Ziegler with 7 points. Also played a solid game. Just a good defensive-minded backup point guard for this G League or for this Summer League team that'll hopefully make the G League roster and just be a backup to Dannis Jenkins, as I'm sure Dannis will be back and forth on two ways between the Pistons and the Motor City Cruise, just with how he's playing so far in this Summer League. But I was just impressed all around with the performance and the fact that a guy like Ron Holland and guys like Dannis Jenkins are really taking the burden of being vocal leaders and being energy guys on the floor that are just pushing this team. This Rockets Summer League team is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And Fali Dante was a very good player in college. He started for them, didn't play that many minutes with foul trouble and whatnot, but Reed Sheppard is a very good player. Was an unbelievable player at Kentucky. With being on the Rockets, he's definitely just had a decrease in kind of what people expected his production to look like. But this year, I think, will be a year where he'll start to get more consistent minutes on the actual roster. They got rid of Cam Whitmore, so they freed up a little bit of guard depth, and that will allow a guy like Reed Sheppard to go in and play. But he had 6 turnovers. Ron Holland and Dannis Jenkins were really locking him up all day. He was 6 of 19 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. He just wasn't that great. It wasn't all that great. And with for a guy who's supposed to be a consistent piece on a Rockets team that is poised to be a contender in the Western Conference with the addition of Kevin Durant, it's just encouraging to see that Ron Holland and Dannis Jenkins and even Zakai Ziegler at times and some of these other guys that were coming on off the bench were able to lock up Reed Sheppard and not allow him to take over the game like I thought he might be able to do just with how many shots he gets up. But 1 of 7 for 3, forced into bad shots, looked really frustrated out there. So I just commend this team overall and the job that the coaching staff and all the players are doing right now. It's just fun to see. And then I know I've talked about Dannis Jenkins, but I just wanted to talk about him a little bit more in depth. I know he's not a guy that has been really on the Pistons fans and Pistons community radar just because he did spend a lot of time in the G League last year. He was an undrafted guy out of St. John's. Wasn't really highly recruited or a very big name coming out of the draft. But man, he improved. He struggled with his jumper last year in the G League, but he put up a lot of shots, averaged 7.5 assists, averaged 21 points. Talked about it in the episode a couple days ago. But it is clear he is getting better. He's getting more comfortable. When he, as the lead guy for the G League team last year, he clearly evolved his game to just be kind of a high energy guy with a quick change of pace and just a tough guard overall. Someone that kind of reminds me of is like a Colin Sexton, the way he gets downhill, the way he utilizes his footwork around the rim to kind of get open looks and just kind of squeeze by the defense. His straight line driving ability is ridiculously good. He had a couple of really nice dunks today too, so he can get up there. He's a high flyer, super athletic. He passes the ball very efficiently as well. I think, what did he end with today? He had 23 points, a plus 25 plus minus, had 5 fouls, had 1 turnover, 2 steals, 1 block, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, and 6 of 6 from the line. He outplayed Reed Sheppard. He outplayed Tyler Kolek a couple of days ago. this guy is legit. He is a guy that can come in, he can lead your G League team, but he can also be a two-way player where if you do have injuries or you have things that go awry during the season and you really, really are desperate for some production off the bench, he can give you that. I definitely think that he's somebody who can play minutes in this league. And, I was looking at some of these backup point guard situations for some of these teams, and you look at like the Suns or even like the Kings and the Mavericks right now, their point guard depth is very, very weak. And I feel like they could use a guy like Dannis Jenkins. I think that he could be a serviceable backup point guard, excuse me, for a team in this league. And there's just no doubt in my mind that he would give production off the bench. So the fact that the Pistons have him, it's a luxury. There is kind of a backup at the guard position right now, but Marcus Sasser right now, his future is really in question with the team. We haven't really heard much of him this offseason. We don't really know what their plan for him is in the rotation this year, if he's even going to get consistent minutes, starting off in game one. So a guy like Dannis Jenkins just could be somebody to keep an eye on. I think obviously he'll start off in the G League, but as the season goes on and if he continues to have the summer league that he's having and stays consistent with it, he's somebody that could really be of value to this team going forward. He's still 23 years old, and I just like what he brings to the table overall. He never takes a break. He never takes a rep off. Every single time on defense or on offense down the floor, he is locked in. He's guarding the other team's best player, and then he's going down in the other floor, and he's showing that change of pace and that quickness, and you feel like he doesn't even lose a step, even when he's working so hard on the defensive end. So it's cool to see a guy with that high of a motor really start to take off. He's a really hard worker, and I think it's awesome for him. Really just happy for him, happy for his progression, and the fact that he's able to put it together with a Pistons summer league team that has some great players. Charles Lanier is a good player, Bobby Klintman, and then you got a guy like Ron Holland who was in the same draft class as you. I guess Dannis Jenkins was undrafted, but they were came into the league at the same time. So it's cool to see that he's playing well with Ron Holland. They've been unbelievable as a kind of a wing point guard duo, and it's just been fun. It's very, very encouraging to watch the improvements that not only Dannis Jenkins has made, but everybody on this team. So shout out to Dannis. You can see he's making everybody on the court better. I've been seeing people on Twitter talk about it. He's clearly everybody's benefiting from playing with him. He moves the ball well. He's an unselfish player. I mean, he only took 10 shots, but he made 7 of them. Super efficient as well. So good for him, and excited to kind of see what he's able to do in the G League this year and potentially on the 15-man roster. But moving on, I wanted to just touch on the front court. I know I talked about specific players the other day, but I just kind of wanted to group Bobby Klintman and Tolu Smith into the same section here. So with Bobby Klintman, I think there was a lot of hope that maybe he could show us that he could be a backup power forward for this team going forward. And I don't think we've seen that yet. I think that there's still a ton of questions about his game. But what we do know he has in his bag, he was able to show off. He's got a high release point. He's able to shoot over shorter defenders. And he had a couple really nice looking shots today. But he also had a couple ones where he rushed it, where there was one in the corner where he catched it. He didn't even take a second to set his feet. He just threw it at the rim that had no chance of going in. It was an air ball. And so you can just see there's some really, really high highs, but there's some very low lows. There was a fast break where he just wasn't strong with the ball, got knocked out of his hand by Kennedy Chandler. But then he had another drive to the hole where he found a Tolu Smith right on the doorstep, and he laid it up. The defense collapsed on him. Bobby Klintman made the right read, dumped it off to Tolu Smith, who ended up finishing it. So you can see that there's some times where you look at this guy and you say he can be a player that not only is a good scorer, but can defend the rim, can rebound well, can pass the ball, takes care of the ball. But then there's also times where you're like, this guy is unplayable in an NBA setting because he's a ball stopper, and he's looking for his shots. He's looking to get up shots just to get up shots at times. So there's just a ton that he needs to work on. He's still a very young player, still a very raw prospect. We've talked about it. We got to give him time, and we got to be patient with him and his progression. But I think over the next couple of days, we'll start to see him become more comfortable. And if we don't, then maybe it is start to have the conversation of, well, maybe he isn't your long-term option at the backup power forward, and you need to go in a different direction, or you need to, start having him work on different things or get different trainers with him. One of the big things is he's going to have to get bigger. He's got to get on that Asar Thompson weight plan that he's been on, because he has to get stronger. He has to fill out. There's times where he was driving to the hole, he was getting knocked off his spots by smaller defenders. It's just, he has to become stockier, and he has to just get bigger and stronger and be able to finish through contact. It's the NBA. These guys are, he's going to be guarded by some of the strongest, biggest players in the league if he wants to find a place on this roster. So he has to get bigger. There has to be some improvement there, and I think there will be. You just have to fill out. Asar Thompson's doing it right now, and it happens at different times for different players. But I think as Bobby Klintman starts to get older, he's creeping up on 23, there's got to be some changes in his frame, and we're going to have to see him fill out if he's going to be able to hang with some of these bigger, stronger players. And then I wanted to touch on Tolu Smith just a second here. I just love the energy that he has. I don't know if he'll ever be an NBA player, but I love the energy he brings to the table. He's just got such a high motor, never takes a break on either side of the floor, like I talked about with Dannis Jenkins. And it's infectious. Both those guys are infectious. They're not, on the actual Pistons team, but they held down the Motor City Cruise last year, and everybody in the gym and everybody on that team, they know that those are the leaders, and those are the guys that have really been around the G League action. They understand the G League game, and have really just put this team, not on their backs per se, but they've really just helped this team kind of mesh and coexist together. And it looks like this team has been playing together. Everybody's been playing together for years, but obviously they've only started playing together the last 2 weeks. So I just commend Tolu Smith. He's holding down the paint. He went 7 of 8 from the free throw line, which I thought was awesome. One of the things that he struggled with when I compared him to Andre Drummond was his free throw percentage. So 15 points, 12 rebounds, another 6 offensive rebound game, crashing the offensive glass. He ended with 4 assists, 2 blocks, only 2 turnovers, a plus 16 plus minus, 4 of 7 from the field and 7 of 8 from the free throw line. That's exactly what you want from your big man. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to, and he's really just dominated the Knicks and the Rockets big men so far in these 2 games. I'm excited to kind of see him get some practice against some better competition here in the next couple weeks, and I hope the Pistons do end up winning it all, because you could get an extra game and just get some excitement surrounding the young core, and they look really good. So shout out to Tolu Smith. He's been an absolute baller. I talked about him, how he's somebody that I thought was going to have a chance to really play well and make a name for himself, and he's doing just that. So good for him there. But moving on, I just wanted to touch on the last thing, and that was just the wing play from today, and that's just really Chaz Lanier and Ron Holland. First off, Lanier was really solid. I loved the movement that he showed off ball. There was a couple times where he got ran off the line because obviously they were just trying to get him spot up looks, and he was able to take a dribble, make a pump fake, get his defender in the air, finish at the rim, which is really, really important for him to work on as well, because as teams start to realize how quick of a release he has, they're going to start to not go under screens as much, because a lot of times they're going under screens and he's just exposing it, but they're going to run him off the line, and so he's going to have to be able to put the ball on the deck and get to the cup. And he showed it a little bit today, which I thought was very encouraging. And I like how the ball doesn't stick with him. He's either going to shoot it or he's going to pass it, and he's going to continue the possession. So I like that he is very aware of the fact that, he doesn't have to catch it, get in triple threat, think about a pass, a dribble. He just knows. And when he catches that ball, if there's a sliver of space, they want him shooting it. And he did today. He shot 11 threes, only made 4 of them. But I mean, that is just under 40%. So that's not bad at all. I talked about it. I wanted him to get up 10 threes, and he did today. So I'm glad that he was able to get up 11 3-pointers, 5 of 14 from the field for 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, plus 21 plus minus. Solid overall game. Only played 25 minutes, but it was just good. He had a great game. Wasn't all that efficient, but was efficient enough for kind of what we're trying to see. We're just trying to see the fact that he can move off ball and find himself open, because with time that, knocking down shots is going to come. He's shot his whole life. He shot at a ridiculously high clip. So glad to see him continue to make strides. I think he had a more complete game today than he did against the Knicks a couple of days ago. So good for him. I love that they're running specific plays for him. I think that's really important for his development. He's playing really well off of Dannis Jenkins. And then also Ron Holland, and that's what I'll talk about next here. Is Ron Holland had another incredible game. That guy is really improving his stock. I think people are going to start to buy in on what he's doing because that jump shot looks repeatable. There's no more hitch in it. He had a pretty bad hitch, if you guys notice, in his shot where he was kind of trying to shoot it from his waist, and there's just too much wasted movement when you're doing that. There's too much things that can go awry, and now it's just there's no hesitation. There was a time where he was on the fast break and he stepped into a three, no hesitation, knocked it down. It was a beautiful shot. Shot it from above his head. There was no second guessing about it. And Tom Crean, who was one of the play-by-play guys today, talked about it. He said in the past, Ron Holland would have tried to get downhill and finish that at the rim, but instead he found his opening and he took the shot and he made it. So really good to see him becoming more comfortable at the things that we wanted him to work on. And then another thing that he wasn't great at last year, and that was just overall decision making. They right away off to start the game, they ran a set to get Ron Holland a lob for Tolu Smith, and he converted the lob. It was a beautiful pass, beautiful play. I'm gonna butcher this name. Vitaly Potapenko, I believe, is how you pronounce it, is the Pistons assistant coach and then also the Summer League head coach. So he's been running a ton of sets, getting Ron Holland the opportunity to show off the decision making, pass the ball, and it's been working out really well. So I'm excited to see that Ron Holland is working on that. Just adding another playmaking wing is huge for this team. Alleviates pressure off of Cade Cunningham to be the main ball handler all the time. So good to see Ron Holland's development from year to year. He's been absolutely balling. I didn't think he was going to play in this game, and he did. So I'm going to stop making those speculations, and maybe he'll play in Game 3. Who knows? If he wants to play, maybe he'll tell him, yeah, get me back out there. He's a competitor, and we would love to see him because he's really fun to watch. He had a great game again today. Ended with 15 points on 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, plus 20 plus minus. Had 3 steals, 3 assists, 1 rebound. So good to see from Ron Holland. The last thing I want to talk about was that up and under reverse layup he had was absolutely nasty, the and one, and he just kind of nonchalantly played it off. So that finishing ability at the rim and that explosiveness and the body control in the air is now becoming second nature to him, which is going to be so valuable going forward. But we're running out of time here. I know I've got really in depth on into what went down in the Pistons-Knicks game earlier today, but I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I absolutely did. It was so fun to watch Dannis Jenkins really just take over like he's been doing all week, and I can't wait to watch him continuing throughout the rest of Vegas Summer League. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know in the comments or over on Twitter your thoughts on Game 2 of Summer League, what you thought of Dannis Jenkins' performance, and how you think he has improved his stock over the past 2 games. Also, let me know what you like to see out of Bobby Klintman. I talked about it. It's been a little bit of a struggle so far. So what would you think that he needs to work on to reassure the front office that he potentially could be the answer at the backup 4? And then let me know your thoughts on Ron Holland, Chaz Lanier, everybody else that I mentioned. They have another game, I believe, in 2 days. I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that. I'll talk about that game here in the next couple days. Tomorrow, I'll continue to dive into what I liked from Summer League and just some other stuff happening around the NBA. But as always, subscribe, like, comment, turn on post notifications, and follow me on Twitter over at Kyle Garrison too. Also, head over to Spotify, leave a review if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. But once again, thank you all so much for tuning in every single day. With that being said, that is going to do it here for episode 22 of Pistons Daily, and I will catch you all next time.